Okay. Hello, everybody. After making that serious video, it kind of made me want to talk more about what people think about murder and everything in this world that's bad, which is probably 95% of this whole world. But some questions would be, first, why do you think would cause violence, war, I don't know, people to go crazy, sick, murder, if I've already said that? And I actually read something saying that the likely cause is, well, there isn't really one likely cause, but if you think about it, you look at a person who was born in a good family, like, not abusive, no cussing, nice, goes to church every Sunday, Wednesday, community work, all that, smart, good education, and then you'll see in their future the likelihood that they're successful and have no criminal record whatsoever is what you would think, which is most likely true 98% of the time, but sometimes there is people who I guess are so good that eventually they'll turn bad, and then they'll go evil, and then they'll start killing people. That's killing people too. You can start out just stealing stuff from a store, and then the more you steal, the better it feels for you, and then you like not being good, I guess. So then you might hit some people, or chase somebody down, hit them, and then you might kill somebody, and then that person, and then you go crazy, you hide, like every cowardly killer does. And I really don't think anybody wants to be home. Most people are just born to have their fate to be evil people, even though it would be nice not to have that kind of demented people. And I'll bring up a story here from, I live in Oklahoma, Piedmont, and then something that happened here was this guy was working in a pharmacy, and these two teenage boys came in and tried to rob him, and the pharmacist, he has a gun, and he shoots one of the kids, and the other kid runs off. Well, the kid's on the ground, and he's still alive, and the pharmacist goes over there, and then unloads the rest of his bullets on him, and kills him, and then everybody thinks he's in jail, but there are protesters saying that he's innocent, but I don't think he is, for one reason. First, he had the right to self-defense, which was right, even though it was teenagers, but still, they had a gun at him, and it was, I wouldn't say it was okay to shoot them, but they were pointing a gun, and he was scared for his life, so it is understandable. But then after the person was on the ground and injured, he went over there and shot him in the face until he was dead, which that part I don't think is right. So, in my opinion, it technically would make him a killer, because it's not really right to kill somebody, because as I read, they were pretty much either forced or talked into by older men to do it, but I don't think he gives you the right to shoot somebody who's already injured and can't help themselves. They should be tried at a court, because they didn't hurt anybody. I mean, they could have, but it's just some people without thinking will do the unpredictable and kill. It's a little story from my state, and there's something I wanted to show you. This is the Oklahoma crime rate from 1960 to 2010. I just blocked that ad. And as you can see, year 1960 when it started out. Population right there. Violent, property, And as you can see, murder. Now, that is high, but I'll show you New York after I'm done with this. That is pretty high. And as you can see, it goes down, but then goes up, and then goes down, and it just keeps changing. And then this is what bothers me the most. 299, then it goes down, then up again. Then robbery seems like not the most, but it's close. Assault, because people can't control their anger and are retarded. Then burglary. Burglary and theft to me are the same thing, but it's sad that people are low enough to steal. And then now, I will go to the bottom of the list. And this is 2010. Now, if I'm right, this is 2010. Right here, this is how much rape has risen in Oklahoma, which is pretty sad. It's 2012 now, so this number could be doubled, not doubled, but could be increased to at least 1,700. And you look at the violence, you look how everything's gone to the thousands numbers, when about 70 years ago it was not that bad. And you think this is bad. This is New York from 1960 to 2010. As you can see, population is much higher, but there's only one thing here in the hundreds, and that's murder, and it's 836 from 1960. And then this, rape, already ahead of Oklahoma in 2010. It's already started. Assault, 27,000, 28,000, robbery, burglary, 183, 253,000, larceny, theft, vehicle theft, 58,000. And then you go down to 2010, and it's still, rape is still high, but and violence, everything is still the same pretty much. That doesn't make it okay. I mean, it hasn't really gone down. It's just stayed the same. And you look at, this has happened to each single person right here. 836 people were murdered. 996 people were murdered. You look over here. This is how many people were raped throughout all these years. And you wonder what's happened to them. It just really makes you think about, because if you watch, I watch shows like Law and Order, Without a Trace, Cold Case, Criminal Minds. I watch all of those, because if you watch Law and Order, you'll see, even though it is realistic fiction, because the cases have, I don't know if that's happened to real people, I'm sure it has, but the characters are fake. But you look at sometimes what happens, just because somebody has no evidence, but you can know who did something to you, but just because you don't have a little bit of evidence, that person will never go to jail, because you can't ever find evidence. So they get to live free, even though they probably murdered one of your friends or your family members. And then you'll always be scarred for life, and that person could have a chance to come and get you, which is pretty sad. And then just other little things just bothers me. I watch the news every morning, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, actually to 7. All you see is murder, 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 murder. Somebody was drunk and decided to beat somebody. Somebody got in an argument and shot their wife or husband. Another person beat their wife mercifully to death, or shook their baby and killed because they were being loud. Because it's the little things in this world that's pretty sad about people. I'm about to be out of time, but I'll continue this right now, actually. Hold on.